All right, we are live. Good
Well,
evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Paul, and you're welcome to Opinion Sharers. So today we are going to be discussing one of the key political actors in Nigeria, in Nigeria's current politics, and that is in person of Peter Obi. And the topic or theme of the discussion today is leadership beyond popularity. What we've seen recently is that Peter Obi, after he moved from ABGA and then in 2023, he adopted Labour, or Labour had adopted him, Labour Party adopted him, or he adopted Labour. And, he brought
can you come?
his
Can you come?
I don't know who adopted who among them. So that's why I'm just trying to give both of them the credit, both the party and the person of Obi.
Okay.
So yeah, so one of them, at least one of the parties, adopted each other, and we saw the kind of outing that we saw, which was like a movement in the person of Obi. Now, the election. In fact, I personally even said Obi was probably the victor in that election, in the sense that he came third. Even though they claim that they won the election, some of his loyalists are still um, saying they won the election, but based on the facts that's available to the public, he came third. But it is significant, 6 million plus votes within a short few months to the election, and it garnered that kind of vote. I think he deserves all the credit and all the people that supported him, that helped him, drive that movement. Um, there is so much credit that's to be given to all of them. Now, personally, I was expecting that, if Obi is still interested in contesting, that he would now rejig the party, that is Labour Party. And then we will see a brand new Labour Party like never before, with the person of Obi being in the center and the leader. Because according to politics in Nigeria, whosoever that is that's presidential candidate, is said to automatically be the leader of the party. Unfortunately, Obi left Labour Party and now is in a coalition with the ADC, where you have Atiku, you have the likes of Atiku, whom in the level of Nigerian politics, they are heavyweights. You have Obi himself, you have Atiku, you have El Rufai, you have Rotimi Amechi, you have Kokonso. All of these people seem to have presidential political ambition. So, and then it's also being rumored now that Obi might also move from ADC to a new or another party, probably because he might not be able to compete and win the ticket. Now, these are all permutations, they are assumptions. But today we want to focus on the this is my word, inability of Obi to demonstrate leadership and build a party, a structure. So, with me this evening is Dr. Bolutife Oluwadele, and I'm hoping that today will join us shortly to be able to contribute to the discussion. So, Baba, how do you see the topic?
The topic is very good, but we have to unpack some things so that we can have a perspective of what we are discussing about. I remember it was on this show I said that Obi, adopting or adopted by Labour Party was an aberration, because in world politics, Labour is tilted towards the left, socialism. I mean, usually, or liberal, it's what they call a liberal party, where the PDP is, all these things are supposed to be conservative. Then we have in between, when you look at the composition of APC, it's a combination of conservative and progressive. So you may call them progressive conservative. That's what we used to have in Abata before. Now, having said that, um, Obi was a strange person in Labour, because as a, I mean, indisputable billionaire in Naira, his being in Labour Party doesn't make sense to me from beginning, because the ideology of Labour and that of a capitalist like Obi should not even come close to each other. But again, it so happened that Labour was a willing platform, available platform that time, and he came into it, and people did not bother about this ideological divide between the left and the right. Who just supported the Labour because of him. So that's why when you are arguing whether he adopted or Labour adopted him, I can see that confusion. I mean, and everybody, it's a question everybody should ask: who adopted who? But what we knew that again, what is kind of playing up in ADC now was what happened in PDP that time. In PDP, Obi was poised to contest for the presidency, so he thought he was going to get the presidential ticket, which of course, fortunately or unfortunately, went to Atiku. That was what led him out of PDP. And I think then, as at that time, he just jumped on the available platform, which was the Labour Party. So now, ask him to build the Labour Party to a formidable political structure. It's reasonable, it's logical, but I find it a bit amusing, because how do you build, as a strange tenant, a house that does not belong to you? There's nothing in this world, there's nothing in political history, political record, that a millionaire or a rich person will come and build a Labour Party. It would have been an aberration, ab initio. So in that case, we can excuse him for not over laboring, to build Labour Party, as it were, and moving on to another again available platform, which many people move from various parties. If you see ADC today, all those names you mentioned, some are from APC, some are from PDP, and of course will be from Labour. Again, it is a convergence of many strange bedfellows. So, what I would have expected, if really it was a case of building a party structure, was that after the election, is to transform the Obi movement, which is called Obedient, into probably a political party of its own, and start from the grassroots and build from the floor and move on towards that. That would have been a very powerful opportunity to build. However, again, because building a party structure that we want to capture power at the center may require more than just 3-4 years. So you require a kind of a marathon to do that. Maybe you look at that as maybe it might be a kind of a waste of time, a waste of energy. Of course, it's going to be a kind of distraction too, to build from the scratch. So that could be a reason why, instead of trying to do that, he opted for the available platform again, which is ADC. So I'm not speaking for him. I don't know what his mindset is, but for me, as a student of history, I would rather think that it will not make much sense, even if we wanted to build a political structure to build Labour Party, because him and Labour are not in the same boat. Labour just provided a temporary shelter for him, a temporary platform for him, because all his principles of life and everything, they are not in agreement with the leftist agenda. So I don't expect him to want to build the Labour Party. But like I said, I don't know whether Paul had everything. The other option for him was to convert the obedient movement into a party. And that would have required some work, a lot of groundwork. And maybe that party would have not been ready for next year election. So maybe because of that reason, he chose to look for another one that may be readily available, and ADC happened to be readily available party. But I have also said on this platform that my concern or my fear within ADC is like there will be clashes or clash of ambitions in ADC, and that is already playing out. So now, what does he do? If he actually is interested in 2027 election, it's a bit late now to start a new party. It's a bit late because if you want to build a party from the scratch that will contest for presidential election, I'm not sure you can do that less than 5-6 years. So the option now is either to remain in ADC or there's a new party, 2 new parties in town. So people are already rumoring that he might be jumping to NDC out of the 2 parties. I think we have DLA and NDC. Let me see whether I can even know what do they mean? What is so? I think I checked. I'm trying to find a new party. DLA, Democratic Leadership Alliance, and Nigeria Democratic Congress. So people are rumoring that it might be going to NDC.
Okay. Now, this kind of movement that we are seeing, do you think it is political pragmatism or just a sign of difficulty for him to build a long-term party structure?
Well, pragmatic is not the issue here now. I think one thing is clear now. We want to contest next year as the president for the president's office. There are a lot of urges, there are a lot of push that ask him to do that. And Nigeria does not allow independent candidacy as at now. It's not yet in the constitution. So it needs a platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the only thing is like he needs a platform that can give him that ticket. And the rule is that before you can contest, you must be a member of that party for 8 months. So, and the election is February. I think the election is moved to January now. So between now and maybe May, you have to be a member of a political party to contest in January. So, and I think there's a timetable that the presidential primary should be concluded between now and May, I think. So, if what we are seeing is only to go by, then it means also maybe we are even jumping to conclusion. Who says he cannot get the ticket in ADC? Who says so? Why I'm asking this question?
I think
just a moment, please. I overheard Aisha Yesu, right, saying that there are 200 million Nigerians in support of ADC. I mean, meaning there are 200 million in support of Obi movement. So if that is the case, then he will win the presidential ticket. That should be simple enough. That 200 million, I don't know whether including or both Nigerians, because I don't see why. I don't know how 200 million people can support the political party. That party doesn't need the election. He is good as winning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
my concern is actually the fact that Obi has refused to build a political structure, and I haven't seen you make a case against the need to build political structure in the kind of environment, political environment that we have here in Nigeria. And looking at also the fact that you said he, ideologically does not belong in Labour Party.
Yeah.
Yes. So are you excusing him? Are you saying, well, he's excused if he decides not to build with Labour Party?
For me as an individual, I would say yes. But again, there is this he believed that people are the structure. And we have discussed about that in the past. Yes, people are part of the structure, but not the main structure. You need a structure. As our election is now, in democracy, you need the party structure to contest for an election. Because that's the back end that they will say in the IT world. The back end of a part of an election is a political party structure. It's beyond the people. It's about system, it's about process, about procedures. It's about, I can't call internal controls. So, because when you are talking of your manifesto, when you are talking of what you need to do for the people, it is not just something you bring out from your head. It is not an individual, it is a collective thing. Election is a team work. It's not an individual ability or pragmatism. It's a teamwork. So you need to build a team. And that team building, you need a structure. You need a political party structure where the team you are building can rest on. So it's not just our people are structured. It doesn't work that way. Okay, look at the last election now in Abuja FCT. There are reports that most of the polling units, they don't have ADC doesn't have a polling agent. So if people are truly your structure, this is how we can confirm that they are your structure, that wherever you go, they are there with you. So why do they not have volunteers in each police station representing ADC? The same thing we saw with Labour Party during the last general election. So I think it's a misnomer to keep on saying that the people is the structure. The people is part of the structure, but not the structure.
Okay, so I'm going to take you back again to what I'm trying to question or review, and what I'm trying to review here is that this moving from one party to another, move to another, in order to actualize an ambition, which in itself may be good, may not be. I don't think there's anything wrong in it. But I personally feel like, does it not call to question the ability of the candidates to build a structure? The ability, the leadership, the leadership skill that is required to build, to bring people in a multi-dimensional society like Nigeria.
Okay, there are two issues here. What we think it is and what the person think it is. The person says his own structure is the people. Though we know, like I've said, the people cannot be the structure. The people is part of the structure. But until this guy sees the fact that the people is just part of the structure, not the main structure. So he believes the way he has the people around him is good. So he's not seeing the need to build a political structure for his ambition. He believes the people are sufficient enough for him to realize that ambition. Because according to his own personal belief, conviction, is like he's even doing this for the people, not for himself. But again, there are systems that should be in place, and it's similar is overlooking those systems. Maybe because of his, but maybe to say with due respect, because of his background as a trader, you export, you import, or you import and export. You don't need so much structure. You don't need so much system. But he has also played role. He's also a player in the banking sector. So can he establish a bank? Can you run a bank the way you run a trading business, a trading organization? Of course, you cannot. A bank, you must have a structure, proper structure. You must have, there is governance structure you must put place in bank. You don't need that governance structure to start a trading business. So I think he's seeing things more from his perspective of a trader than maybe a banker or a bank owner rather. Not actually, we can't refer to him as a banker, as a bank owner. So that's even a good example. His business is thriving. His trading business is thriving with or without structure. But bank cannot strive, cannot work because bank is a trust business on behalf of the people. You are taking people's money to trade with it. So you must have a structure. There must be control. So I'm not in his mind, but again, I think he has to understand that narratives. And stop telling you that people is the structure. The structure you need is the people. I don't think I agree with that. But I understand where it's coming from as a trader.
Well, he's been a governor for 8 years as well, so that should mean that what is it? Is it his experience as a trader that precedes, or that which he probably have experienced in office, or does it mean that he didn't build? He got the party candidacy on a platter of gold, whereby he doesn't necessarily need to build, a structure and won twice.
Yeah, it did not build the app guy. We don't have it on record that it was part of the founding fathers of our app guy. But what we know
Yes,
that he contested on the other platform, other APGA, and he won. And from APGA, he moved to PDP. So he has not been. We have no public record where he has participated in the formation or nurturing of a political party. That does not. There's no public record about that. So the fact that he contested under the party doesn't make him. It's a part of the those who build that structure. It was a platform for him, and he used it. Maybe yes, he was governor for 8 years, but the fact that he had more hands-on experience as a trader than as a governor. The governor, the state has a structure. There are process and system in the place. He just came into that system, do his best to run the system the way the best he understood it, and all that. But you can't compare 8 years with he has been in trading business for a long time. So most part of substantial part of him is more of a trader than a former governor. That'd be my opinion.
Okay, so moving on a little bit, or maybe a step further. Obi was given opportunity to run under the platform of APGA. He became, governor twice. In PDP, he secured the opportunity to be the vice president, and then he left. And then in Labour Party, he was given the opportunity to run as the presidential candidate, and then he ran again to ADC. Now, what we see is that these parties were thinning out or they were having crisis. They're
Okay.
having issues. They're having challenges. That's what I believe is, all of this. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. And I'm questioning the leadership capacity of Mr. Obi because a country like Nigeria, being a president in a country that is as, you know, multi-dimension in terms of culture, religion, beliefs, all kinds of things, people who wants power, there are very, very many in Nigeria. I mean, somebody said, look at Tinubu's 2 years, at least probably two coup attempts. Now, as a president of a country, all kinds of things will be thrown at you. You'll be like the driver who is driving a bus with all kinds of people in it, all kinds of noise, people fighting, beating themselves, some trying to kill themselves, some trying to take you out. What do you do? And I'm liking these political parties, these platforms. I'm liking into the boss, and you being someone that has been elected or supported or given a chance to be the leader. And at
Okay.
every time when seems not to be going your way or things seem to be tensed up, you dump the place and move to the next one.
You are talking
What
about
does
conflict. Okay. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about leadership skills, leadership competence to be able to bring people with different ideas, people who doesn't like you, people who like you, people who hate you, people who wants to, do whatever it is to you. How do you manage them if you keep running and jumping and running and jumping?
Okay. Maybe let me first narrow it down to conflict management because that's where you started. Uh,
Mm.
Most of this labor that were factions, were conflicts, and rather than waiting and resolve the conflict, you think, okay, move to ADC, and there is possibility of, okay, uh, if I don't get this ticket in ADC, I may likely move again. Does that question is leadership capability? It's yes and no. Yes, in the sense that there is expectation. When you are a leader, there is expectation. But again, no, let me go back to what I said that is coming to labor is an aberration because they are not the same. They don't belong to the same class. They don't belong. Yes, Nigeria will talk about ideology or no ideology. They don't belong to how they do things in labor movement. It's not the same thing. It's like employer sitting down with employee. There's a chain of command, and the chain of command as an employer is different from that understood by an employee. So to that extent, I was okay. Maybe realize suddenly that look, I don't actually belong here. I'm just trying to make excuses for him now.
Yeah, I see
That,
you are
that
making excuse for him, but
yes,
will you make
that
the
does.
same excuse for him will you make the same excuse for him when he left ABGA or when he left PDP?
I think
Does
when
he
he left
ideologically belong to those
it was
places too, or doesn't?
by the time he left Abga, that was a case. That was a case. We have to go back. Um, he won through the court. That election was given to PDP in Gigi, and he went to court and he claimed that mandate. So I think it was when he was going to contest for the second term that they kind of reached an agreement. Okay, if you are going to get this, when you win, you are going to come, you are going to move to PDP. I think it's one of the conditions, or either at the court level, or I can't remember now. I think that was behind the scene agreement when he got his mandate back from Ngige. So that's what it was, political intrigues, I would say, that led him to move to PDP. Right? But the situation has changed. That situation has changed. We cannot use, I don't want to use that as a basis for assessing him now. The current basis was when he left PDP because he wanted to be president, and Atiku wanted to make him a vice presidential candidate, which he was not interested, because by that time it was supposed to be the turn of the South. Whereas at that time, Buhari was almost completing 8 years slot for the North. Now that's a gentleman agreement. So I want us to situate the situation from the beginning, that level. Let us not go back to where I moved from APGA to PDP. It has to do with the stolen mandate gotten back as a governor. Because even when, remember that time, he was PDP and he was doing very well. He was working. But he went to court and he lost that, and they have to remove Ngige. So let us not go deep into that. But let us take it from.
But could he have become a pattern?
No, maybe not. Like I said, when he was an APGA, he was not part of the party hierarchy. He was just a governorship candidate, and he won because APGA was a popular party in the East then. So that's why I want us to disengage the two scenarios. But in 2022, when it was obvious that he was not going to get the ticket, and then he didn't even wait to attend the primary before he pulled out. And they were looking for, which party was available. And it so happened that Labour Party was available. And he adopted that platform, or the platform adopted him, using your word. So now, given the sources in the election, I think the one that was fairly established, we would have said, okay, this platform, even whether I adopted it or they adopted me, I should have built a structure from that. That is the expectation. That is a reasonable thing to do. But again, my own theory is like, being a strange bird fellow in labor, that might be a bit difficult. But also, as a leader, if I want to work on your theory, as a leader, you could have still done something to bring sanity into Labour Party that gave him that platform. There were so many factions. We did not hear how he tried to reconcile any faction. We did not hear how he was able to bring managerial power or leadership to bring sanity to all the crises in the Labour Party. I agree with you on that. But again, what I'm saying is that my own thinking is that, okay, if I'm not originally supposed to be here, how do I be able to make things work there? That's my own school of thought, which I'm not saying is 100% correct. But now, that's okay. You move back. You move to the mainstream now, because ADC was supposed to be the third force. That's how they were called in 2023. You move now to ADC, which is a convergence of people. It's like, permit me to use the word, ADC as it is now, it's like a refugee camp. A refugee camp is everybody that displaced from APC, Alekbesola group from APC, Rotimi Abejeje from APC, Atiku from PDP, Obi from Labour. It's a refugee camp.
El-Rufai from APC.
El-Rufai from APC to SDP. No, he first went to SDP before coming to APC.
Oh, okay.
So you can see that as a refugee camp. And now in refugee camp, things are not supposed to be normal, right? That's what's a refugee camp. So
I hope you are just not making excuses for it. That's how it's looking like.
When it's not a party builder.
Exactly my point.
yes, I'm not saying as a party builder. He is
so it's not a party.
Party as a platform, not as a builder. Is the question is it because he cannot, or or he doesn't want to? That's what I want to ask.
Or he doesn't have the skills for it.
I know that's where you are going.
because Nigeria is okay. Look at where Buhari left Nigeria in the hands of Tinubu, or look at where Jonathan left Nigeria in the hands of Buhari. Do you understand? So Nigeria itself is a delicate society in trouble. So, for instance, if they are going to be able to kick out Tinubu by next year, and then you who is coming to take it over, you will be in trouble by the time you are taking over. There will be all kinds of things thrown at you. So whatever it is that is pursuing you, or whatever trouble that anyway, you give the excuse that probably is an aberration that he find himself in labor. But he contested there. If he had won the election, that would have been his party where But now because whatever happens, he left the place. Or also the same thing in PDP. And then this is more like the pattern of an opportunist. And there's no big deal about being an opportunist. We're always looking for opportunities. But at the same time, when you find an opportunity, whenever it doesn't seem to go your own way, or whenever you think that things, people are rocking the boat, instead of sitting down and fixing the problem, you run away to the next place. This is the pattern that I am seeing, and I'm now questioning it. Does this not look like someone without the capacity to build a crumbling home? Because Nigeria is going to be, if he wins for instance, if Tinubu is going to hand over to him, Nigeria is going to probably not be in a good position. So what do you do when common party with how many people affiliation that you cannot sit down to say, hey, everybody come, let's put our heads together, let's do this, let's do that. But you are just looking for another place with that seemingly has good opportunities, and then they are going to hand it over to you again, a la carte, like I don't know whether that's one of your language, and then you will and then you are looking for the opportunity to be able to scale to power by the reason of that. I'm challenging that Mr. Obi seems not to have the capacity to build, a crumbling home or structure.
To build or to rebuild. Because when you say
maybe
home,
all of the above.
That thing is already built. Just like the thing is collapsing. Then
yes.
You need somebody to repair it.
Honestly, it's either you cannot rebuild from the scratch, or you cannot even mend the one that is crumbling.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to speak for him on that, but the truth is that what you are saying, there are merits in it, because we have not seen, like I said earlier on, is dexterity at managing conflict. And you cannot be a president of Nigeria without having some knowledge of conflict management. Nigeria is a shared sport of conflicts.
You only need to be on the street to know how things can be, let alone being in power, being the number one citizen, and the number of people, the number of troubles that you think people, you just fire some messages on TikTok or Twitter, and people will keep quiet, or people will quiet, or they will behave.
I think he has his own solution. Because he has said, I am people-centered. I am people-oriented. And he said, you know what? When I become president, every Nigerian will have my telephone number. And when they have his telephone number, it means that everybody will have access to him. So Now, what is the implication of that vis-a-vis governance? That seems that, okay, we are going to run the government together, collectively. Everybody, your opinion is what we will do. Whatever you want us to do, that's what we are going to do. I'm going to be people's servant, leader servant, servant leader, whatever they call it. The implication of that is that even in an organization, let's say we call that's what we call span of control. If I am a manager or of an organization that has 50 employees, I'm the MD, and I gave my number to the 50 employees, and I give them 24/7 access to me, apparently I will not do any work.
Absolutely.
I will not, even a receptionist, a trained receptionist, cannot receive calls simultaneously from 50 people. So even him coming to say that everybody will have his phone number is indicative that this guy is not ready to govern, because that will be too much distraction. Again, he justified that because he believes in people. People are his structure. So he wants to personally attend to that structure. So now, if I'm going to answer call from 200 million people, when do I have time to read memo from my ministers? Where do I have memo to read the memo from the governors? Where do I have time to read memo from the central bank governor? Where do I have time to able to formulate policy? Excuse me. Where do I have time to read memo from the National Assembly? So, but it's telling us this is who he is, and we have to accept him for that. The onus is now not to say, okay, is this the kind of leader we need? But again, our people are very emotional. He's appealing to our emotion, and he's doing that very well. But his leadership at managing crisis, I've not seen anything of that. I must be very sincere with you. I've not seen his capacity. Thank you. Excuse me. I've not seen the demonstration of capability to manage crisis. I've not seen leadership capability to manage conflicts. I've not seen leadership capability to build structure, enduring structure. And like I said, when you were off a bit, that if you want to build a party from scratch that will be so formidable to wrestle power at the federal level, you will need a minimum of 5 years, and you will need a very solid team to do that. You can't do that alone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget how APC came into being. CPC, ACN, even APGA. Then there's NPDP, new PDP that came to join later.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, unfortunately, Atiku is claiming now that he was one of those that started APC. NPDP joined later, which was the like of Atiku, Bukola Saraki, and all that. They came to join APC. Excuse me. The fulcrum, the center of APC is CPC, which is Buhari Party, and ACN, which is Tinubu Party.
Tinubu's party, yeah.
So those are the major pillars of APC. So, having said that, now back to the situation, we are still speculating that we will not get a ticket in ADC. What if we get the ticket in ADC, we stay? Right?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, if he gets the ticket, he would stay. because he
stay.
wants to contest. I believe that
Now,
is his major objective.
the issue is that if he gets the ticket in ADC, let us even assume, let us be the Lord's advocate now. If he gets the ticket in ADC, will Atiku be happy? Will what do you call it? Amaechi be happy? Yes, you mentioned Kokoso. Is Kokoso already in ADC?
I think so.
Because he was negotiating. He was giving conditions to come to APC that he must control 20% of the structure and that he must be given the slot for the vice president in 2027. That's all we had. His own NNDP, or what is his name now? It has collapsed.
Yeah, NNDP, yes. New Nigerian Democratic Party or something.
And that was his own party, the one that
contested
in 2023.
Yes, that's his own party.
That
and I think the governorship candidate or the governor of Kano has also left the party.
And ported to
APC. APC. So I guess that he was given a larger percentage of the share of the leadership of APC when he ported to APC in Kano.
Okay. Now there is also another issue now that south of ADC has adopted the Amaechi, right?
Well, Professor Patu told me said they should not mind him. He himself was there. I saw what he posted on Twitter. On X, that it was not an adoption per se. It was he just took the advantage of their meeting to announce that he was contesting.
Okay. Let's say now by sheer providence, Obi God gets the tickets. So what happened to Amaechi? Will he port back? Will he support him? What happened to Atiku? Will he go back to PDP or will he support him?
Well,
and will he be able to appeal to them again? Because there'll be a crisis if he gets the ticket. Will he be able to reconcile these people together so that they can work together as a team?
Yeah, but before we get to this, your assumption, I think my own, the reality is to be able to compete against these people for the primary ticket.
It depends. Because they are talking of direct primary now. Right? And if they are talking of direct primary, whereby there is the influence of money may be reduced. And when they are doing their registration now, there's every likelihood that many of the big movements might be the majority registrants under ADC. So by that, if they really work well, if they create a system, there's definitely likelihood that those who will be participating in the direct primary election might be more of pro-Obi than other candidates.
That is and majority. Don't forget that majority of Obi supporters online are abroad.
So they cannot participate in the primary election.
They cannot. They cannot. Anyway, moving forward. Looking at, let's assume that the rumor is true. The rumor that, okay, if Obi find out that the possibility of him being able to wrestle power from the heavyweights like Atiku, Rotimi Amaechi, who has gone ahead to make his own. He wasn't even waiting for anybody. He already sees the opportunity to make his own announcement. Now, you know what he wrote to me, almost give Tinubu a run for his money in APC during their primary.
Right? He came second. He came second.
He beat Professor Papa. So now the implication is, let's assume that these people now are not going to step down for him. they're not going to make it easy for him. And then the rumor is true that he's going to port to another party. We've seen that at least two new registration, two new registered party has been announced. Now, would another move, will it reinforce the perception that Obi struggles, that he indeed struggles to build and consolidate within a political system?
Yeah, that will kind of prove that theory right, actually. Because if he moves again to NDC or whatever, it will the theory will no longer has gone beyond conspiracy level. It has come to reality level. Because it will now be that, okay, what is important is ambition. Looking for, it's just like you have you are going to a party and you take your charger because you are not sure that your battery will still last till the end of the party.
Mm-hmm.
So every available socket, you plug your charger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes a mobile candidate. So maybe it would have been suitable, in that case, Obi would have been suitable as an independent candidate, if that is allowed in Nigeria.
Mm.
It's not a build-up
Okay.
structure. Because it doesn't, I
Exactly.
think because it doesn't, my own thing is that because it doesn't believe in that structure, but your own argument is that because it doesn't have capability to build. It's in between the two.
That's what it seems, because if you want something, you desperately want something, and there is a system that delivers it, which we have seen.
Yeah, you don't have to build that system.
As a fact,
somebody can build and you will use it.
And then and hand over to you.
It's fast food now. Fast food. When you want to eat fast food, you don't have to go to the farm to go and plant yam and carry yam and begin to plant yam. You want fast food, you order and you get your food and eat it. Simple. You call it a la carte the other time. So I again, time is running out for him to start. But if you cross to NDC, which is a new party, he can join hands to build it. But then that party will not be ready for next year election.
He doesn't have the antecedents.
You can always start somewhere.
Okay.
No, if he realizes now that this is what he needs to do and he wants to do it, of course that will test his ability, because he has not done it. I'm trying to be careful to say, okay, because he has not done, doesn't mean he cannot do it. But then, because he has not done it, does not prove that he can do it either.
Yeah.
The fact that he has not done it doesn't prove anything that he can do it. But it also does not deny the fact that he may be able to do it.
Yes, but when we look at the pattern, okay, that's where it becomes an issue. We, as researchers, as people who believe in science, we look at pattern, right? When something has happened once, twice, third time, and then the fourth time, then we begin to look at, okay, this is a recognizable pattern with this particular.
But there's also there's also the margin of error, plus minus 5.
Yeah. Well, this one now, I catch you for this one.
You catch me. I mean, I catch you.
Okay, so I want us to look at the distinction between a movement in politics and political parties or political structure. All right. So under the movement, emotion is very, very high. Okay.
Yes.
It runs on momentum. Supporters, a lot of supporters, a lot of people, zero structure, zero planning, just emotions, momentum, and driven by the supporters. Meanwhile, on a party, you have structure, you have organization. Some of these things you mentioned earlier. You have delegates, you have candidates. All right,
Yeah.
people who know what they are supposed to do. They are tasked to say you have to carry X, X out. You have to carry Z out. This person will do this. That person will take it from there, and then this person will run to this level, and this person will take it to the next level. That's a structure. That it requires a lot of planning. Okay.
Yeah,
So
our
to be
strategy.
honest, yeah, there's somebody that I know who lives in Lagos and is, joining PDP. APC in Ogun State. Do you know that during their recent what did they do? Itself? I think the
What
APC did
Congress?
something.
What
What
registration?
registration? Whatever Congress.
Or what Congress?
That person from Ogun State was posted to Sokoto to represent the party. To Sokoto, and all expenses paid.
Yeah, that's structure. That's strategy.
So when that person was telling me, if I didn't know that person personally, I would have said, no, lie. Which Nigerian party they do those kind of things. But that is the reality. So
big
that
parties,
is
big
structure.
parties, they do it.
So now, if they are, so perhaps they now bring somebody from Sokoto, to go and demonstrate, that they actually know what they are doing. The people will give feedback, actual feedback, to say this was what I saw, this is what I did, this is the engagement, this is the level of work that I feel is on ground, and this is what I think we need to do. Now, how is it possible for emotions, momentum to defeat that? I'm talking about in Nigeria context.
No, not even Nigeria context, everywhere. Emotion is a fleeting thing. It changes. It's just like the weather. So it can rain now. So because it's raining now, will it continue to rain forever? Except we are experiencing new era again. So emotion is a fleeting moment. It can't. Yes, and you need the structure to harness that emotion. So when you harness that emotions, then you develop strategy to ensure that okay, it's strategy to respond positively to the emotions. I remember most of the arguments we were having prior to 2023 election is like, I even wrote about it, okay, how does it translate to electoral values? If I'm posting on Facebook every day or X every day about a candidate, and on election day I do nothing. I don't talk to anybody. I don't go to vote. So all my effort is waste. So when somebody is doing that, when you have a structure, this way we now is okay. We're able to scan through all these things and say, okay, how do we develop even an agenda? How do we build a manifesto around all these expressions? That is what the structure does. That's what the system does. Then when you have that, okay, you now develop processes and procedures. So you can't it is we call form over substance. So if you rely on emotion that is not stable, I wrote when I was you go for a political rally, there are many crowds. People will come, mammoth crowd turn up. As a young person in 1983, I was living in Kotangora. Every campaign they brought to Kotangora, I will be there. I was there. So when they are counting people that came out, the mammoth crowd of all the campaign rally, I was in all of them. So who know where I belong to? Well, let me know.
Yeah.
Who knew who I will vote for? Well, let me know. But if you are counting, I will be counted in all the campaign. And I will not be the only person like that. I went there out of curiosity. I always go there because I wanted to know something. The other time, I think when we were talking of studio, the guy that was endorsed, they went to whether Kuje Market or whatever. Atiku and Obi raised up the other hand. The guy did not win. And I told you that, okay, let us see whether that endorsement will work. It didn't work. This guy, ADC did not even win one councillor. And because they didn't have that strategy, you cannot have a strategy, a working strategy, if you don't have structure, proper structure. Yes, you will still build this structure around people. It's people that will still develop the structure. It's people that will still develop the strategy. But people is just part of the structure, not the main structure.
In 1990, 2009. Is it 2009? No, I think 2019. Was it 19 that we supported Sowore? The election.
I supported
I supported Sowore. I was in school then in India, and Sowore, everywhere he went, it was live streamed. We watched him. We saw people, dancing and meeting him in Kano, in Sokoto, in all these places. Eventually, during the election, he got 33,000 votes or thereabouts.
I was even in his event in Calgary. He came to Calgary for lunch. I was there. Yes. I spent 1 hour. I listened to him. If they videoed that place, they will see my face that I was.
yes, you were not a fan.
I was in Jovere. I went to assess him.
But you didn't become a fan.
No. I was with my friend that time. Now I was in ANRP. I was with Topo Pashu at that time.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to ask this question as we close. And the question is, do you see Obi adopting to political realities, or you see him, or is he going to continue? This is my opinion. Or is he going to continue to fail in institutionalizing his movement?
We need the proper definition here. What is political reality?
The political reality is that you need a structure to win elections.
Yes, he says he has a structure in people. So until he convinces himself otherwise, you can't force him. I cannot force him to realize that's not completely correct or true. If he doesn't see the need for a proper structure, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't force him. And if he believes that people are in structure, then let him go ahead. So I can wish him the best of luck. But I know that is not correct. Structure is more than the people. People are part of the structure, but they are not the whole structure. I'm not downplaying the importance of people in structure, but you can't. You see all these movements. If you build structure on people, if you build let's say APC is built around the El-Rufai, so what will become of APC now? That he has left.
Taking them to the gutters.
He first moved to SDP. Okay, maybe when he goes, okay, you have experience, come and share this, your APC experience with us in SDP. In 2 months, he left. You need proper structure. Because this is proper structure that also can create checks and balances. For instance, now you need think tank. I don't know whether Obi has think tank. I don't know whether Obi has strategies. Because when you look at these interviews, you don't see the fact that some people are working for him or with him.
No substance. Just random data. Some of them are not even correct. I'm sorry to say that, but that's.
And when you have researcher, when you have think tank, when you have strategists who are working for you, when you receive invitation to appear in Arise TV, they send their questions. Those guys will research into those questions and give you answer. Even sometimes you do mock practice with them. No, you can say this, you can't say this. Oh, this one is put it this way and not that. And when you come and you will see the result. The thing like it's difficult. Those of us who are not emotional about all these things, we see things clearer than those who are emotional. Okay. So the political reality of Nigeria is that Nigeria is a complex society. So the perception of you being a good man is not enough to win an election in Nigeria. Because there are many trade-offs. There are so many things that are done under the table. So this is not Nigeria is not the kingdom of God that you need sainthood. It's not.
Saint Peter. Saint Peter.
Okay. Nigeria is a complex political environment, and the political reality is that you need street wisdom and non-intelligence. You need some uncomfortable compromises.
Yep.
We saw. I'm a follower of Awolowo. We knew why he failed, why he could not. He did well. His record spoke for him. But he could not get across the Niger. Because of perception about him.
Wow.
So, yes, when he died, Ojukwu said he was the best president Nigeria never had. So what does that matter?
It doesn't make sense.
So is it now that his death he was the best president?
Yeah.
But he had a very solid structure too. He spoke on the big grammar. But the grammar no past quarter level.
And he was loved by people, by his people. He was loved by his Yoruba followers, even till
not
today.
All of us, not all of them.
Well, but I think he's fairly popular among Yoruba people.
Because if you that time, I was telling somebody yesterday that somebody called me and was interrogating me kind of. I said, why was asking why was I was not able to penetrate the knot. I said, one, there are some things that he said about the knot that were not the best. Number two, I live in the north for some years. If you met an Ogomo shaman, I'm sorry to say this on there, and you ask him about Awolowo, he will take him into the cleaner. He will not say anything good about Awolowo at that time. I'm telling you, I had first-hand experience. I argue with them. We work together in the office. We will argue to almost exchange blue because of this in the office. So if imagine an Hausa man met the same person and said, this is Awolowo, tell me about him. What do you think he will tell you about him? He will speak all the rubbish in this world to him about him. He will rubbish him.
True.
So this is like, it's like even as great as Jesus was, they still lie against him. Not everybody love him. Even up to today, they are still lying against Jesus. It's just that Christians are not aggressive to be fighting people because of them abusing Christ. So that is it.
Well, we've come to the end of this show today, and I think we've had some very productive discussions. I love it. I wish we are more than this. Tunde eventually did not join. Probably network messed him up. Before Village Boy give his closing remark or closing thought, I have a few lines to share, and it is thus: in Nigerian politics, popularity can ignite movement. It can bring you in front of many people, but only structure, loyalty, and alliances can sustain a political future for any major candidate to win presidency in Nigeria. I look forward to seeing Obi building or rebuilding a structure that can deliver its expectation or his dream of Nigerian presidency? Village boy.
Yeah, I pick up the word alliances because you have to. Then you say you have to shake hand across the Niger. It is. It is. I kept on saying it. Democracy is a game of numbers. The number of people have voted for you. And Nigeria again, there is another clause. Even when you have these numbers, it has to be spread.
Hmm.
The number doesn't have to come. If the number is concentrated, you will not win. If the number is not spread across 2/3 of the nation, 24 states or 25, whatever, when we want to argue, you are still not going to win. So that is the mathematics, that is the arithmetic, simple arithmetic of politics. Numbers. And in Nigeria, spread numbers. And everybody that is supporting a candidate should understand this basic arithmetic. It's street wisdom.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, sir. And even though we did not have it, there are still so many aspects of this that we didn't have opportunity to or time to discuss. I'm hoping that in subsequent opportunities we'll be able to examine more of this. I think we probably should take these major politicians, these heavyweight politicians, that we should probably, examine them, their antecedents, and their structure and movement over the years. Maybe we should do that, as we get towards the 2027 presidential election. Thank you so much, sir, for contributing and for taking your time despite being under the weather. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us. We hope that this has been educative and probably that's good to the ears. So thank you. We will be back again next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a happy weekend, everyone. So, and let us also understand the importance of business structure in all that we do.